Some relationships do not break in one clean moment, they loop. You think it is over, you tell your friends you are done, and for a few days or weeks you even start to feel a little lighter. But then, somehow, it begins again. The messages appear. The calls come through late at night. You say the exact words you have been craving to hear, and you feel that familiar rush of hope. It is just enough to make you believe that maybe this time will be different. Maybe this time the ending will stay an ending. Or the beginning will actually lead somewhere safe. But when the person you are dealing with is a narcissist, those loops are not accidents. They are the very structure of the relationship. At first, it can feel like a sign of change. They reach out after weeks of silence, their tones softer, their words threaded with just enough vulnerability to make you think they have reflected on what went wrong. You tell yourself, maybe they finally see how much they hurt me. And for a moment, the good parts returned, the warmth, the laughter, the late-night conversations where they seem to truly hear you. But soon the air shifts again. The tension you cannot name starts to build. Little criticisms slip back in, the warmth cools, and before you know it, we're standing in the middle of the same storm you thought you had escaped. Only this time, you are more tired, more confused, and more unsure of yourself than before. I am Zane, a relationship consultant and psychologist, and today, on STR-TV, we are going to slow down and look at the signs that you are not just in a toxic relationship, but trapped in a narcissistic cycle, and how beginning to truly see the loop for what it is can be the first step towards stepping out of it for good. Number 1. The highs and lows are extreme. In healthy relationships, conflict might feel uncomfortable, but it is followed by repairist conversations, mutual effort, and a sense that both people want to make things right. In a narcissistic cycle, the high after reconciliation feels almost intoxicating. They come back with intensity, showering you with attention, compliments, even sudden generosity. They make you feel like you are the most important person in the world again, and it is hard not to believe that maybe this time will last. But the low is just as sharp, and it always comes. They withdraw affection without warning, criticize you in subtle or cutting ways, or disappear entirely. That emotional roller coaster is not about love, it is about control. The bigger the contrast between the highs and lows, the more your body becomes hooked on chasing the next high, even when the lows are destroying your sense of peace. Number 2. Apologies come with conditions. When a narcissist apologizes, it is rarely about genuine accountability. It often comes wrapped in excuses, half-truths, or subtle blame shifting. You might hear, "I am sorry you felt that way," as though your feelings are the real problem, or "I would not have done that if you had not," which twists the blame back onto you. It is never a clean acknowledgement of harm. And yet, even a partial apology can be enough to keep you engaged, because part of you still wants to believe they mean it. But instead of closing the wound, their words often reopen it. You leave the conversation feeling unsettled, wondering if you asked too much or misunderstood their intentions. This is by design. The apology becomes another link in the chain, keeping you tied to the idea that the next talk might finally bring the honesty you deserve. Number 3. You keep questioning your reality. One of the clearest signs you are stuck in a narcissistic cycle is when you cannot fully trust your own memory of events. They downplay things they said, deny things they did, and insist you misread their tone or overreacted. At first, you push back. You defend yourself. But over time, you notice that your arguments get shorter, your voice quieter. You start to wonder, maybe they are right. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I do imagine things. That seed of self-doubt is not random. It grows from being repeatedly pulled through the same distortion of events, till your own clarity starts to erode. When you cannot trust your own perception, you become even more dependent on theirs. Number 4. Walking away feels impossible. You might have moments where you say to yourself, "This is the last time." You might block their number or delete the messages, feeling certain you have broken free. But then, somehow you find yourself answering their calls again. That is not weakness. It is the residue of conditioning. Narcissistic cycles often create something called a trauma bond, where the very person who causes your pain is also the one who gives you relief from it. Breaking that bond is like withdrawal. Your nervous system has learned to crave the comfort of the good moments, even when those moments come from the same source as the hurt. This is why leaving does not always feel like freedom at first, it feels like loss. Number 5. The good memories keep pulling you back. When the cycle is calm, it is so easy to focus on the moments that felt real, the laughter, the connection, the way they looked at you when you felt truly seen. Those memories can be powerful enough to drown out the pain for a while. You tell yourself, that is the real them, and if I can just get back to that version, maybe it will last this time. But in the narcissistic cycle, those good moments are not the foundation, they are the bait. They are the part that keeps you hopeful, the part that convinces you that leaving would mean throwing away something rare. And that hope is what makes the loop so hard to break. Have you ever realized you were stuck in one of these cycles? Is there a specific moment when the pattern became too obvious to ignore? Share your story in the comments. I always read them. And if this conversation feels like the reminder you have been needing, subscribe to STR TV because here we talk about the truths that set you free, even when they are difficult to face. Next time we will explore the quiet red flag that often starts the entire cycle, how it hides in plain sight, and how seeing it early can change the whole trajectory of your story.